Yo, people, welcome back to the Soccer PM podcast. We are here every Thursday, 6 p.m. Make sure you don't miss out. But without further ado, I am your host, Jords, aka Durag Diaries or Bandit. You'll probably hear D say that. We are joined today by my fellow co-hosts or cohorts, guests, whatever you want to call them. To below me, pause after below me sounds mad. Pause on that.
No. Introduce someone else first. You can't carry on with that.
All right, you know what? Next to me, I've got the fellow Arsenal compatriot. Definitely not he's not waving Arteta's flag no more, but man like D, Jus D. How you doing, bro?
I'm waving Arteta's flag. Easy. What do you mean? I'm Arteta in, man. Always.
We'll get into that. We're gonna get into that because when someone said a certain something, you didn't seem so happy about him being your manager. But hey, I digress. Moving on. Definitely, he's not waving Arteta's flag. He's all the way on the other side now. I know a few weeks ago you would have heard him say Arteta in. He definitely won't come out of his mouth now. Man, like half-time hooks. What are you saying, bro?
I'm on my own island. I'm not over with these side, these man over there, or them man over there. You get me? I'm on my own island. You get me? Arsenal for life. Let's go. Big up, man.
Last but definitely not least, Premier League champion himself, man like Dean. What are you saying?
Bruv, #20, #slot in. That's what I'm on. There we go. Pause.
Dean, do you even know how to use a hashtag?
Of course I know how to use hashtags, bruv. What are we dealing with, bruv? Hashtag started in our generation. It started in our generation, bro.
I just wanted to double check.
Hashtags are old thing, bro. Don't try again. It's a new thing. We had that in our generation, bro.
I just wanted to double check.
These new school guys are trying to claim everything.
Definitely. You're just trying to double check if the uncle's really tapped in. But look, people, if you are seeing this podcast, it is on all of our channels. So that's Durag Diaries for me, Fam Zone TV for Dean and D, and then Halftime Hooks for Hooks, releasing every Thursday PM. I can't stress that enough. But look, we have to start. We have to start where the biggest game of my season, and probably it's not the biggest game of the season left, but in England actually is biggest game of the season left for English teams. The Europa League final next Wednesday, Manchester United versus Tottenham. How are you guys? You guys obviously don't have a sword in this fight, but looking at it from an outside point of view, I'm gonna come to Dean's first, being a champion and being a guy of proper European heritage. The other two over there can't say that. How are you looking at this game? And I suppose who are your favourites to go out there and get the job done, seeing how it's played out as of recently?
I know, in the league, Tottenham's beat, how many times you beat Man United this season? 3 or 4 times?
3 times this season.
3 times. I just think it's going to be a complete different game. I honestly think Man United's going to win. I don't want them to win, but I can see, man, especially now the news have come out that Kulusevski's is injured, Madison's injured. Bruv, I just can't see how Tottenham are going to win that final. Man United are a team. They're crap. Don't get me wrong, Man United are crap, but they can scumbag a win. Tottenham don't know how to scumbag a win. See, Tottenham, like I said before, anytime I watch Tottenham play, you lot could be playing well, be playing bad. No matter what's going on, what you're doing, you're going to concede. No matter what, it doesn't matter what's going on, you lot still concede. And I just can't see how you beat Man United. The players that's available. I'm hearing that you're going to play Sarr, Basuma, Bentancur in midfield. Oh my gosh, bruv, leave it. That can't be your midfield for real. That's got to be he's got to be trolling. That can't be a real midfield three. Them three can't play together in the midfield.
We got a lack of options right now, like you said, man. There's no Kulusevski, Madison.
10 men. Start with 10 men or something, man. Just don't have them three midfield. It's mad. You can't start it. What? Basuma, Sarr, and Bentancur as a free. That sounds like a joke.
No, there's no doubt. It's extremely defensive, and Spurs are going to have issues with that midfield. But I suppose just to bring it to D here, looking at Manchester United's midfield, I know you're going to say they're both not good, which is a fair point. We're 16th and 17th. We are both not good. But do you think that that's a fairly even battle, looking at the teams and their midfields that they're going to be starting with in the final?
Yeah. I think this game, no one has any idea what's going to happen. I think it's one of them games. It's obvious. It's like a flip of a coin in every direction. I'm in a bit of a different situation because I know a lot of Arsenal fans don't want Tottenham to win because of the North London rivalry. But I hate Man United more than I hate Tottenham. I'll be deadly serious. I really despise them more than I hate Tottenham. I grew up on Man United versus Arsenal, the fierce rivalry. I didn't really grow up with a rivalry with Tottenham. I know there are neighbors. Like, I don't know. Like, it depends, innit? Like, I don't want Tottenham to win because it's Tottenham. I don't want them to win a European trophy, but then I don't really care about this trophy. But then I definitely don't want Man United to win. So it's like it's a bit of a tricky one. I don't want to be supporting Tottenham, but then it's like I'm not a fan of this. I don't like United. Like, you have to ask Liverpool. Like, I'll ask Dean. Like, would if it was Everton versus Man United in the final, who would you want to win?
I need them both to lose. You know what?
I wanted the game cancelled. I need the game cancelled.
Yeah, either Everton win and it's a disaster. There's a natural disaster where people die. I know it sounds crazy, but something has to happen. Something has happened. I want it to be remembered for the wrong things. Yeah, bruv. I don't know. Everton or Man United. Oh my gosh.
Do you know what though? I understand where you're coming from, D, innit? Because like you said, when you grew up, when you was watching football, when you were younger, when you were probably in school, a lot of your conversations, a lot of your arguments would have been with Man United fans, because that's when you guys were battling for the league, innit? Like, you guys are going back and forth, FA Cups, they would win something, you'd win something. That was your rival.
It was bad blood. We didn't have bad blood with Tottenham. We had a few misdemeanors, like a few pushing and shovings, but with Man United, we had bad blood. Roy Keane Vieira, it was nasty work. We did not like each other.
But don't you also look at it? Because look, this is just me and my host hat on, innit? This is my Spurs hat on, yeah. Because Tottenham and Arsenal have been a lot closer to each other this last, let's say this decade, innit? The last 20 years since you guys have last won a league. We've been fairly close to each other with league position, with where we're battling, with players we go for, with everything that we do, we're fairly close together. Are you not more concerned that a club of a level who you consider to be better than is going to win a trophy, and a European trophy, one that you guys were in this competition 7 years in a row and couldn't get it done? So is that not a slight on you guys? It's looking bad. It's like, bro, this team Tottenham, many of you Arsenal fans try to consider us as little brothers, they're no longer little brothers. They're winning big trophies like that.
I see it. I know you're a Tottenham fan, but I see it completely different.
I'm looking at it from, this is not Tottenham.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying, but I see it as, I don't think they're little brothers anymore. I now think they're children. They're the kids. They're not little brothers anymore. I honestly, I'm being deadly serious. I honestly think that Tottenham have gone backwards. I don't think they've gone forward. I don't think they're getting closer to Arsenal. Whether they win the Europa League, firstly, the Champions League. When you were in the final of the Champions League, yes, I was in. They can't win that. Like, they can't win that Champions League.
That'd have been dark.
They can't win the Champions League before we ever won our first one. That's a problem. But the Europa League is the second-rate competition. No matter what, even if you win a European trophy, everyone can always say it's the second-rate European competition. That's the truth of it. It's like winning the plate in the football competition, winning the first losers round and all that. It's one of them. But in terms of,
like you guys.
I feel like Tottenham have regressed. I don't feel like whether they win or not, anyone even cares about Tottenham like that. I think they've regressed. I think they've got worse. I don't think they've got anywhere near. I don't think they're even comparable to Arsenal. My thing is Man United. Like, I grew up on the fierce rivalry. I don't want them to win anything ever. I don't want Tottenham to win anything ever either, but I just don't feel like Tottenham. I don't feel threatened by. I'll be honest. I know you always have to be worried about.
No. Look, I get where you're coming from. I get what you're saying. Don't agree with it, but look, I'm going to bring it to Hooks here, because Hooks is someone who resides a lot closer to, Spurs. You would have grown up around a lot of Spurs fans. You spoke about it many times, being North Londoner. Is your rivalry a lot closer to, not wanting Spurs to win, or are you leaning with where D's at? Because Manchester United's rivals who you grew up with, or?
I'll be honest. I still haven't decided who I want to win and who I want to lose. In it, like it's a bad position for me either way. I guess if Tottenham win, like Manchester United, like they'll be in darker times than me. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they're the ones that Tottenham won a trophy against. I think that completely removes me from the conversation. But if Manchester United win, then I got to deal with all the Manchester United fans feeling good again and like, RC, look, Amarim, first season, won Europa League, the process is better, rah, we're going to catch you, all of that rubbish I have to deal with. But in reality, do you know what? Just bring COVID back. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd happily just bring COVID back and just like completely ruin this competition. Because it's not good for me, whoever wins in it. It's really not good for me, whoever wins in it. But part of me also doesn't care because, like Dee said, it's a second-rate competition. Like, I really don't care. And my setting is like, not only is this a second-rate competition, I think it says a lot about the validity of the trophy when 16th and 17th are battling out for it. Like, to me, I don't care about the competition. I feel like it's lost a lot of its credibility considering that no teams from the Champions League fall into it. So to me, it's like battling out for the Interform Cup when I was back in school times. Like, you know what I mean? That's the kind of level of the trophy in my eyes, isn't it? So part of me doesn't care who wins. Part of me has a little bit of an agenda around who wins. I mean, if you was to ask me if I had to pick, I would probably pick Manchester United to win it. But that's only because, like, too many of my family members, like too many of my bedrooms, they support Tottenham. I'll never hear the end of it. Like, I'll actually my phone will never stop ringing. Like, I'll start seeing cousins come out the woodwork that I ain't seen in years. Oh, what are you saying? Like, yeah, let's link up. Well, you didn't want to link up yesterday, but now all of a sudden you want to link up. Like, so yeah, it's more of a personal thing for me. On a footballing level, I don't think Manchester United or Tottenham winning this trophy really says anything about Arsenal, because I think regardless of whoever wins it, I've still had a better season than them. Do you know what I mean? I'm still on a much more positive trajectory than both of the clubs. Like, I'm still, from a squad development perspective, ability to compete. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, the only reason that United and Tottenham fans care about this trophy is not because of the trophy. It's because winning it gets them into the Champions League. But neither of them are ready to be playing in the Champions League. So it's like they'll come in, they'll probably not even make it past the league. The league, they'll probably will get knocked out in the league. So it doesn't really matter. Like, so yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's a very sad day for football that it is Manchester United and Tottenham that are in the final. But as each respective fans, you're gonna want to win it. It's peak for you, man, because all of your creative outlets are gone. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, all of them are gone.
Definitely.
And then one thing that I think is going to have a big impact in the game is Ahmad is back for Man United, and he's a game changer. So, and you already know that your defense is tired. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ahmad went on to go get the winner.
It's a fair point to make. I would say game changer. Yeah, game changer is definitely a stretch. He's a young player who's looked really good in a very bad Manchester United side who don't attack. I know they've scored a lot of goals in the last few Europa League ties, but outside of that, they're not a team that you look at and say their front line is scary. I know Spurs' the back line hasn't necessarily been good, but when we have had our full back five, it has looked a lot better. The stats go to prove that as well. Now, I do think it's very disingenuous for Arsenal fans to sit here and talk about being a second-rate European competition when you've never won the first-rate European competition. When Dean says it, I hear it. Dean's won both of them. He can talk from experience what it feels like to win the big ears, lift the big ears. He's done it multiple times, but Arsenal fans can't. So to sit there and try and downplay the second-rate European trophy, it doesn't sit right with me.
I agree.
The European trophies that you guys do have is second-rate. The Intertoto or whatever the heck, Interfairs.
No. I agree with you. I agree with you. Sorry to cut you. So then, let me ask you this question then. If it's because we're going on what's on paper, are Tottenham and Man United the 37th and 38th best team in Europe? Because
That's not
there's
necessarily what I
36
mean.
teams in Champions League, so they're the 36.
All of them get knocked out.
But they're the top 36 in Europe, aren't they? Those teams, aren't they?
No, not necessarily.
What do you mean not necessarily?
Well, because as we know how Europe works, is there's loads of different leagues. You have the top 5 leagues, and then you have all these other leagues. Some of these
Everyone, yeah, but these, but on
if
paper,
you win a league, wait, if you win a league that's 10th worst league, but we have teams that are, let's just say, Man United, Tottenham are 6th best or 7th best team in the Premier League. Is the 7th best team in the Premier League not better than the team that won? Is the 10th best?
We don't know. That's what the Champions League's for, to find out.
Yeah.
So in the Champions League, that's what it's for. That's why you play against the 10th and the thing like
and
that.
all those teams usually get smacked up, right?
That's what the Champions League's for. That's why there's 36 teams to compete. So once we get to these latter stages, and with the 36 teams, they're the top 36 teams in Europe on paper. I'm not going to start doing nuances and say Man United are probably better than this team and this. But on paper, these are the 36 teams. And on the paper, Man United and Tottenham are the 37th and 38th best team in Europe, right?
I don't believe so. I don't get the logic. I get what you're trying to do.
Don't get the logic.
The logic doesn't add up in my head. Like, you're doing 2 + 2 = 3 right now. I don't know how, but in your head, it makes sense. Cool, but that doesn't make sense because again, we're in the final, so we're better than all the teams in the Champions League that didn't make their final. I think you're talking about when my team,
Arsenal and Liverpool.
And Liverpool,
we'll have a more. Sorry. The word, I think the word better and successful. Now the word better and successful gets confused.
No, I'm not listening to you anymore, host.
But definitely more successful than all the other teams below. What we are gonna hear is that Tottenham or Manchester United, whoever wins this trophy, will be looked at as having a better season than Arsenal. And when we look back in history, because let's have it right, in history, nobody looks back and says, oh, in 1975, Arsenal finished second with 75 points, but they just lost the league by 3. No one says that. What they do say is, we won this trophy in this year, this trophy in this year. Nobody remembers the team that finishes second.
Wait, Jules, what I'll give you, yeah? If you win this league, what's it called? The
Europa League.
Europa League this year, yeah.
Man, don't even know what it's called.
No. What I will give you, yeah, because next season everyone's gonna start on 0-0-0-0, yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys next season in the Champions League, the same as everyone else, and everyone just forgot you 17th. That's crazy.
Everyone forgets, and that's the thing, Dean. Is that's
like, the only thing I can give you. That's the only thing
goes in out of Manchester United and Tottenham. Everyone's gonna forget how you got in there. Nobody's gonna be like, oh, you went in there by winning this, you went in there by doing this. You're just there. We're all in the party. We're all in the same party, bro. Yeah.
But the thing is, Jules, I think they need to change the rules. I don't think you should be able to be 17th in the Champions League. I just think there's
it's on merit though. They won the trophy.
It's on merit though. We beat all the teams. What I don't get is we beat all the teams to get here. Man United are actually unbeaten in this competition. Spurs aren't unbeaten, but we've got through all of our ties to get where we are. So I don't think it's fair to say Man United or Tottenham don't deserve the position they're in, because we beat everyone. You can only beat the teams in front of you, and we all done that. So I don't think that's a fair. A fair way to finish
17th, and you should be allowed in the Champions League. I think there should be somewhere they say, "Nah, you know what? You two can't get in there. I can't have you two in there. Like,
no,
you can't turn up at a rave just wearing what you want. You lot are not allowed in. This is mad. Like, you can't camouflage yourself.
We all got the same ticket. We all got the same ticket.
Bro,
if you're on the guest list and I'm on the guest list,
you got a fake ID, bro. You got a fake ID.
We're both on the guest list, yeah. No, but look, just looking at the final again from an outside point of view, do you guys, and obviously you said who your preference is to win, do any of you look at it and be like, this final could really boost the evolved team going into the next season? Do you, like, let's just say, for example, if Amorim wins this could be the win that galvanizes the team and brings them together for him to really focus and laser in going into that next season? Do you think that this could be that, that jump for either manager or either club?
I think more Amorim than Tottenham. I think more Amorim than Ange. I think like Amorim can come in, win a trophy, win a European trophy as well. Because if he's going to pick a trophy to win, he probably would have picked a European trophy over the FA Cup or League Cup. because it gives you a lot more credibility and a lot more eyes on you from across around the world. You've just got as far as we're concerned, like in England, we'd be like he's been terrible in the league, but as far as Europe are concerned, he won the Europa League. That's all they're gonna know around Europe. That's all they'll care about. So, but one thing you have to remember is one of these teams are gonna lose. And one of these teams has finished 16th or 17th in the league. So whoever loses this final, it is a bad time for the other manager and the other club. I've got a funny feeling Tottenham are going to win. I've got a funny feeling.
No way.
I think they will.
I can't lie.
This whole Ange saying second season thing, and like I was thinking when he said that, I bet you any money they win something. I'll bet you any money. I just had this feeling that this second,
when someone's so he said it with so much confidence, conviction, like it was like who are you even talking to? I win in every time in my second season. Like he clarified it was a fact. So
Jords, the thing is he loses too many games. He enjoys losing. Like you've lost 20 games in the Premiership. How can you lose? There's 20 teams in the Premiership. Who are you losing to all the time?
Dean's funny. Dean's funny because I was doing my barbecue on the weekend. I'm out there, I'm cooking food and stuff. I get a call from Dean because I'm on my watch along. How have you lost 20 games? I didn't even watch the game. I mean, he's just going, wait. You've lost 20 games? No. What do you mean you've lost 20? He's going mad.
Bro, someone put in the chat. I didn't know you got played that day, yeah? Someone put Tottenham lost 20 games in the Premier League. I was trying to work out. I didn't know what that meant because my maths weren't maths. There's 20 teams. There's 20 teams in the Premiership. How have they lost 20 games? What does that mean? Because
just to give you guys some facts around that, the team with the most amount of losses without getting relegated is 21 losses, and that I think was West Brom. I don't know the year, but I do know it was definitely West Brom. So Tottenham are one loss away from equaling that record. So we could have them.
You equal that record easily. You will.
Likely, we got Villa tomorrow, so it's very likely.
Yeah.
Man United's got Chelsea in the lead up going into their Europa League game, so it's going to be interesting, isn't it? If Tottenham and Man United
next Wednesday, is it next Wednesday?
Yeah, it's the finals next Wednesday, and
on a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's really weird. I'm not sure why the finals are midweek. I think because of the Club World Cup, I think it's impacted the season, so they've had to bring everything early because usually the finals are like the end of this month, aren't they? So I think they've brought that a bit earlier. What football's like, man. They just changed way too much.
Second rate. It's because it's actually the second rate, second tier European.
Well, there's a lot on the line. There's a lot on the line at this one, though. There's a lot on the line.
There's a lot on the line. That's the thing with it being two English sides, just makes it even bigger, innit? It's been a while since this has happened. Two English sides going into a final. Obviously, since Chelsea and City were in the Champions League final, but moving it on, taken away from our club, because clearly, guys, they just want to corner my club and just do all of this, like, let's get at Spurs and all this. But we're going to see next week. When we do this show, it's going to be the day after the final. So next week, hey, we'll see. We'll see if you guys are going to be talking to me this way, because certainly I might be talking to me and Dean Nice, innit? The only teams with trophies. But there was some news that broke today regarding the manager of the season and the player of the season nominees. Now, I'm not really too sure how to think about this. I think some of the managers were obvious, just to throw them out there. So we had Arne Slot, lifting the title. He's one of the managers. You got Eddie Howe, who's pushing on just behind Arne Slot, had a very stellar season in lifting the Carabao Cup and could finish second. Nuno Espirito Santo, obviously Nottingham Forest are doing what they've done, finishing in European place after battling relegation last year. And then you got Thomas Frank, who... a bit of a strange one for me. I know that they're pushing on to potentially have a European place, but he's been voted and nominated for a few years, and I'm not really too sure why, because they've been mid-table. And then outside of that, it was Vitor Pereira of Wolves, who's had a very, very good 6 or 7 months as their manager. I know Dean's looking like, what's going on? But if you actually look at... No, Dean, if you look at the record of when he came in to the league...
He's done brilliant.
I know, I'm pretty sure Wolves are like top 6 or top 7 teams. No, Wolves are top 6, top 7 teams since he's come in.
He's done brilliant. Manager of the year is crazy. I'm not even listening to that.
But go on. Look, as you got so much to say, I'm sure you're hurt that your manager. You think your manager deserves it. Is that right? You think
that? Everyone thinks that. I can't understand who wouldn't think that.
I don't think that.
I don't think that.
See,
but go
on.
Present us your case. Why should Slot be?
Well,
you're just saying unanimously. Why should he be unanimous?
I have to present the case.
Yes, because why should he be unanimously?
Why should I present the case? It should be obvious. He's just got here and he's won the league. What's the problem? That's what I need to say. What else was I say? What else do I need to say, bro? He just got here, put his feet under the table, and he's won the league. What else do I need to say? He spent no money. We came third last year.
I'm not even like. I think you're making a good point. I'm
just saying stuff now. I should have been after I said he came in, won the league. I should have kept quiet. But now I'm just saying stuff now. You get me?
So is there any? Go on, D. You said you don't think it's Slot.
No, I don't think. I think it should be if Nuno finishes, if Nottingham Forest finish in the Champions League places and it goes to Nuno, to me, clear as day. I think it should be an easy one as well. I don't think it's even close. Winning the league with Liverpool is not a better job than Nuno finishing in Champions League places with Nottingham Forest. Isn't it? Which one's a better? The man of the season is not who wins; it's who's done a better job, right?
Yeah.
So who's done a better job? Nuno at Nottingham Forest or Slot at Liverpool?
Slot.
I think I would say Slot has. I can't even lie. Just to throw my hat in it, I think it's Eddie Howe.
Same.
I think Eddie Howe has to get it. I think if you're going for a guy that's actually he's been steadily progressing. I think he's had some good years where he's been very close to doing something with Newcastle. But this year has actually been a special year for Newcastle. It's all come together.
I'm not against that. I'm not against
the Carabao Cup, and as you said, they could be finishing second. They're obviously playing you guys. Is it this week? They got you this week or next week? This week they got you guys. If they beat you, they got a level on points.
I hear it. Everyone just anything to Liverpool. I heard it all season.
I don't even think it's that. But
no, everyone's doing that. Oh, I'm not picking Messi to be banned and I'm gonna pick someone else. I hear it. Just trying to be different. That's all it is, bro. Everyone's just trying to be different, not to give Liverpool. I've had it all season. This league's crap. Liverpool's this. Liverpool's that. Nah, we get to the end of the season. Nah, he won the league. He's not managing the season. Cool, no problem.
Well, I will say this, Dean. I think if he doesn't win it this year, it's going to be hard for him to win it any other year because this is probably the most impressive one that Slot will do it with. But just to bring Hooks back into it, you've obviously agreed with it being Eddie Howe, but let me just flip the question the other way. Why is it not Arne Slot?
Do you know what? But for me, for a long period of this season, I thought it was Arne Slot. I feel like what he's done this season has been very impressive. But for me, I think the harder job is definitely Eddie Howe winning the Carabao Cup and getting Champions League football for Newcastle. It doesn't even matter what position that they finish in. And it's only it's it's a recent push as well. It's not like they've been in and around confirmed spots throughout the whole season. It's been a really late push to get into there after winning the Carabao Cup. So he's managed to mastermind Newcastle winning a trophy after 70 odd years? Something like that.
71 years.
Something like that. Crazy. And then obviously to get Champions League spots, I personally think that that's a better achievement as a manager in the Premier League than winning the Premier League with Liverpool. Don't get me wrong, if Arne Slot won the Premier League and then won the Carabao Cup, which, need I remind you, he was in the final, no? So he could have done that, then it would have been nailed on. Yeah, Arne Slot. But I just think what Eddie Howe's been able to do is cold. I hear the Nuno shout. I do hear it, but I feel like Nottingham Forest, the last, 5 games or so, Nuno's been having a howler. So I think it'd be very unfair to take that, even if he does get Champions League, to take it away from Slot for him. But for Eddie Howe, 100%. The only super howler I do think is that Arteta's not there as nomination. I can't believe the Wolves brother is there before.
Wait. Wait. Do you know what?
He's
Wait.
hilarious.
Don't you think it's a cheek of a guy who now has said numerous of times, he's not my manager. I don't represent him. I don't think he's done a good job. I don't think once he not won a major.
I never.
Wait. And once he didn't win a major, I want him out. And now you've got the cheek to now say he should be nominated for manager of the season. But he
should have a nomination. And by the way, all I said was he didn't get over the line, which was my threshold for him. So I feel like he deserves to be sacked. I feel like he deserves to lose his job because he's failed again. But doesn't change the fact that over the course of a 38-game season in the Premier League, we have been second pretty much the whole time. Like we've comfortably been second the whole time. Like if we're talking about because as far as I'm aware, the manager of the season is based upon how the manager performs across the season, which has to tie in with how the team performs across the season. Like, by the way, he got us to a Carabao Cup semi-final and a Champions League semi-final, and we've been second for the pretty much 99% of the whole season.
You lost both of them.
Yeah, but that's fine. But you got to get there.
Wait. This is the thing that
doesn't matter. But you're bringing up. I hear you want to do the YouTube thing, and I hear it, and that's cool. But
we're on a podcast today, no YouTube.
For the Wolves manager to be there ahead of the brother that's been second pretty much the whole season, to me, that doesn't make any sense. Now, my thing with Arteta is completely separate from that argument because you just haven't got me over the line again. One of my metrics is get me over the line. You didn't do that. But it's not because he didn't get us over the line that now I completely ignore everything else, or everyone should completely ignore everything else. Like, we've had 27 injuries. We've been second the majority of the season. Like, you have to, that's managerial capability. Like, I honestly don't understand how Wolves manager can get in there over Mikel Arteta. To me, that's mad.
All that stuff you're saying, all that stuff Hooks is saying, yeah, about Arteta, why he should be there. That's all the stuff Liverpool manager's done. You're saying why he shouldn't win it. So what's going on?
No. But I'm not talking about Arteta winning it. I'm talking about him being a nomination.
Why should be nomination?
I do not is though. I'm genuinely just confused here, Hooks. And again, I want to ask you a question. How can a manager who you want to be sacked for his performances this year been knocked out of both? You mentioned semi-finals. You got knocked out of both of those semi-finals, didn't win either of the games, so you didn't even put up a fight. How can you want that manager to have a nomination? I'm talking about you, not Arsenal fans, not the narratives. You personally, how can you want him to have that?
Because I don't want him gone because of his performance. I want him gone because of his lack of ability to achieve a result. Nomination for manager of the season is not just about result. Because if that was the case, people like Nuno and Vitor Pereira wouldn't be there. Because then they're not there because of result. They're there because of performance. So the two are completely. I don't know why we're convoluting. I don't know why we're.
No, we're not convoluting. We're doing expectation versus what the reality of what actually happened, and the expectation for Nuno wasn't to be where he's at, so that's why he's over exceeded his expectation. So has Vitor Pereira over exceeded expectation. Now Thomas Frank, that's one that I think we should be discussing and being like, what is he really doing here? I think he was in the team of the season last year or the year before as well. And Brentford haven't necessarily done anything great. They've been in the same, like I said, they've been in the same position all year. They've floated in between, we can say 8th and 13th all season. Why is he in there? That's even a bigger question. You're saying Vitor Pereira or Eddie Howe. Why is Thomas Frank there?
Wait, what? I never said Eddie Howe. I said I don't know why Vitor Pereira is there.
Yes, you said Vitor Pereira or Nuno. Sorry, not Eddie Howe.
I didn't say or Nuno. I said I don't know why Vitor Pereira is there. Like I can't believe that Vitor Pereira is there over Arteta. That's all I said.
You also said Nuno.
All right. Well, if I didn't say no, I didn't mean Nuno, innit? Like I'm Pereira. Like Eddie. So Thomas Frank is actually the fact that Thomas Frank is there is actually a stronger argument for Arteta to be there as well, because Arteta has basically done the exact same thing that Thomas Frank has done, but Thomas Frank is there, but Arteta has done it at a higher level.
There's always some token picks in there, I think, innit? There's a few people that are just going to be chosen there. But just D, do you have any final thoughts to wrap up on it? Because you look like you got something to say, but it seems like he's holding back at the same time. I know he doesn't like Hooks' praise of Arteta right now because he's like, you're doing the flip-flop thing. A new man on, you know, like soccer PM today, so he's Hooktimus Prime. He's come with a new personality.
I'm being objective.
Hooktimus Prime is crazy.
I'm being
Hooktimus Prime. I'm using that today. I'm using that today. I don't care.
He's transformed. He's now Arteta in again. I don't know. D, just quickly, what do you think on what he said about Arteta potentially? Do you think Arteta should be in there?
No comment.
Yeah, you put yourself in a predicament. Everyone's that's what Arsenal play. Jules,
you know what? I get why
he's
he's
put himself in a predicament.
No, I get why he's doing it. I know why.
Yeah, because he doesn't think that Arteta should be there, innit? And then he's basically the opposite.
He doesn't want to come out and shoot himself in the foot. I hear it. And do you know what? I'm gonna let him have that because for time and intense purposes, we got to move the conversation on. See,
Hooks is tangle twisted himself. Hooks is caught in the net. Hooks is caught in the net.
He's been caught in the net. Oh, we're gonna catch him. We're gonna catch him another time. We're gonna go back around.
I'm speaking objectively.
Yeah.
You're not. You're caught in the net.
But apart from the managers, as I said, we did have the players of the season that have also been released. To give you guys the names, you got Morgan Gibbs-White from Nottingham Forest, you got Ryan Gravenberch, Mohamed Salah, and Virgil van Dijk for Liverpool. For Newcastle, you got Alexander Isak. Sorry, I did forget Chris Wood's in there as well, and then Brian Mbeumo as well as Declan Rice. Sorry, so just to read those names out again for those who may have missed. Morgan Gibbs-White and Chris Wood from Nottingham Forest, Virgil van Dijk, Mohamed Salah and Ryan Gravenberch from Liverpool. Arsenal got Declan Rice, Alexander Isak from Newcastle, and Brian Mbeumo from Brentford. Who should win player of the season? D, bringing it to you again first.
It's quite a tricky one, man. I think that's like me.
Shouldn't be a tricky one. We've got to do, this is the easiest one from many years, and even I don't like the player, but it shouldn't be tricky. Come on.
Not for me. For me, I look at like players that have outperformed themselves and performed at the highest level possible. So I look at people like Chris Wood, that has been just as good as any other striker in the league. I look at those standards. That's my standard to see who's made the greatest progress and the greatest step. Chris Wood right now, as much as we class him as a second-rate striker or third-rate striker, he's performing as good as any striker in Premier League. Yeah,
I think he's got the best big chance conversion rate this season. That's at like 54%. So like he's finishing, he's scoring, he's got 20+ goals. I think it's his first season to get 20+ goals, and he's only a few behind the likes of Isak, Haaland, and Salah.
Exactly. Then you have players like you got Chris Wood from Nottingham Forest, and you got Isak, who has spearheaded Newcastle's challenge, and then he's gone and won a trophy as well. And then you have players like Salah that has trounced records and won the Premier League. So I don't think this one's very simple at all. I think this one's really tough. Because how do you give it to Salah, for example, over Isak? That's won the Carabao Cup the first time in 60 years or something. And then how do you give it away from someone like Chris Wood that's been just as good as any striker in the league?
Dean, you've got 3 players in this fight. So I suppose you're just give me one of them. But who are you pushing forward as your main Liverpool candidate?
It's so simple. It's Salah, 28 goals, 8 assists, bro. I'm telling you now, any other season, if Henry puts up them numbers, we're not even discussing this. We're not discussing it.
It is the most impressive
it's a done deal.
From a player.
It's a done deal long time ago. No one ain't saying nothing. You get me? So all this Newcastle thing, I'm not in the Newcastle thing either. Newcastle's a big club. That's their business. They won like 70 years. It's not like it's Blackpool. This is Newcastle, bro. They should have won bare stuff. That's their business. Like if they won that for 70 years, that's their business, bro. Like Isak, yeah, he's had a good season. But what Salah's done this season, remember, we was called Salah FC. We was called Salah FC, bro. Like all of a sudden, it's not Salah FC no more. It's Salah, bro. I don't know what we're even discussing. It has to be Salah. There's only one, but he gets too much disrespect, bro. Not this year. This year, they can't disrespect him this year. Every year, this guy gets disrespected. This year, you can. No one can question it this year. No chance. No way, bro.
Yeah, I said it there, man. I said for me, like, I don't like Salah. People know you guys have clipped me up enough times on your shows, and I've disrespected Salah or said things about Salah that don't sit right with people. But I do think that when you look at this season, the numbers wise, it's the most impressive of a Premier League player of all time. The fact his team had won the league. The fact that he's he's in his 7th or 8th Premier League season. This was the year when many people thought he would decline, and he's 32, 33, and he's still managing to maintain this level. I personally think you can't look at anyone but Salah. I do think you made some great points, Steve, because some of the other players we're looking at, like I said, Chris Woods had such a good season. Brian Mbeumo, he's been crazy. He's got like 17 goals this year. Like, he's been so good for Brentford. You even look at like Gravenberch. I think he's very unfortunate to be playing in the same team as Salah because he's been class. But Gibbs White, I don't know what he's doing in there. But yeah, man, like I think Salah's he's the easy pick. What are you saying, Hooks? Are you not gonna throw Declan Rice into the fight, or you got it Salah?
I mean, I think Declan Rice had a very good season, but I think that's neither here nor there, innit? Like, I just want to know: are we setting the precedent that? I just want to check: are we setting the precedent that when it comes to player of the season, it's now just all about the GA and we're just ignoring?
No. Pick it how you want to pick it. Pick it how you want to pick it, bro.
No, because I don't know. I like
everyone
Salah.
looks at the season themselves, so it's however you judge it.
Salah's had like a good season, well, a very good season in terms of output, but there's been many occasions where even in games where he has got that output, outside of that, he's not really doing anything. Like, do you know what I mean? That's why I think it's hard for a player like Salah to get things like player of the season or Ballon d'Ors, because he's not really involved in play like that. Like, he just goes and gets the goal or he'll get the assist. And don't get me wrong, you will want a player like that. But I feel like when we're talking about players of the season and Ballon d'Ors and all them things there, you got to bring in like the contribution on the pitch outside of the goals and the assists. And that, for me, I don't think it's as simple as he's 1 goal away or 1 assist away from I think it's either equaling or breaking the highest GA record ever in the Premier League.
He's broken.
And that's all. No, he's 1 goal away. I was talking 1 goal or 1 assist away. I was talking to. He's on 46 at the moment, and I think the record is 47. So
for 30 games, what's it? How many games a season? I think when the other one was like a higher games a season. I think it was.
But remember, football didn't just start at the Premier League, innit? So
it didn't start in 1992. I'll get shot.
Yeah, remember it didn't start in 1992, innit? So yeah, like, look, if Salah, I'm not saying Salah's undeserving of it, because I think he's had in terms of output, he's had a great season. So if it did end up being Mo Salah, then cool. You get me? Celebrate it. I'll clap it, be like, well done, well played, well done. But in my personal opinion, not in my personal opinion, I will be. Wait, people can vote for it, right? Or is it just players? I don't know. If people can vote for it,
it's a vote. It's people.
Okay, cool. My vote will be going to Isak, because I just think what Isak has done at Newcastle this season, leading them to a Carabao Cup and Champions League football, he's been, from my perspective, in terms of output combined with performance on the pitch, I think he's been head and shoulders above the rest. That's who I think deserves it, personally. Like, yeah, Chris Wood is a good shout. Very good shout. And if we was to consider things like what you expect from a player to what they deliver, maybe you give it to Chris Wood. But I definitely think it's going to definitely be, but like, I don't know, I'm not too sure about the other people, but I think it's definitely one of Salah, Isak, or Wood that will probably end up winning the player of the season.
I think all the years.
Once. For all the things Hooks just said, yeah, listen, I thought, yeah, no problem. I hear why Salah not liked. He's in and out of games. And then you picked Wood. Wood's never in a game, and the ball goes forward. Wood's not doing nothing, bro, in games.
You know what it is though?
You need to hear the context, the whole thing. I said if we're looking at it from the perspective of what you expect from a player to what they deliver, Chris Wood has severely outperformed what is expected of him to crazy levels.
I don't think to crazy levels. He's not done anything like, as you said, he's always been a stellar goal scorer in the Premier League. No, but he's always been a stellar sort of like a. I liken him to players like a Charlie Austin type of level striker. You know, these players are always going to pick up goals. They're in smaller teams, but they are 10 plus a goal season, like 10 plus goals a season strikers. Now he's gone to Nottingham Forest to performing at a good level. He's scored 20 goals, but I wouldn't sit here and be like he's mad over exceeded, like he's done something crazy. He's just scored more goals this season than he had any other year prior. Now it has been a very good year, but look, I think, like you said there, the thing with these awards is they always lean towards, like you say, GA and stuff, because ultimately attacking players win these awards because that's what you see. You're going to see the attacking players do their thing more than the likes of a Van Dijk or a Declan Rice, because it's going to be tough for a player like that to win it because they need to do some bad season.
Sorry, I forgot about that. Do you know what? Me personally, I would actually vote for Van Dijk before Salah. I think Van Dijk
would.
I know you would.
You're racist. That's why you're racist. I hear it.
What?
I hear it.
Oh my god! Like you owe a lot of your
for the light skin guys.
But Salah is light skin as well.
No, he's different as Egyptian.
He's funny.
He's like black Africans. It's cool, but
man draw for the race card because he isn't choosing Salah. It's crazy. You know these Salah sexuals. They always got to do something. You always got to lean one way too.
Anything not to give Salah something. Anything not to give Salah something. Anything to disprove him. Is anything now, bro. Like it's, to me, obviously, I can say I'm biased and whatever. I thought this would be the most clearest decision ever for Salah, for this season. Maybe not the Ballon d'Or because we got knocked out in whatever, I thought, there's a reason for that. He's not going to win the Ballon d'Or. All season he was up for Ballon d'Or, And I thought, all right, they've got a reason not to give it to him now, But this award, I thought, hands down. But there's still a way they're trying not to give it to him. So he's getting disrespected every year, bro. He gets disrespected. So I expect it anyway.
There's one thing that is consistent, and Dean just clearly thinks way too highly of his team because he said that it should definitely be Salah, should definitely be Slot, shouldn't even be a conversation. So clearly, Dean's, do you know what it is? I don't blame him. He's still in the euphoria of winning the league. Yeah. I get it. And you're allowed to feel the way you are. No one's going to tell you not to feel like that. Yeah. But just before we end up and round out, there was a conversation that's sort of been having in the world of football right now because off the back of last weekend's game, unfortunately, rest up to Taiwo Awan. I'm gonna butcher the name. Taiwo Awanyini. Just Taiwo, number 9 striker, Taiwo Awanyini from Nottingham Forest, who's now been placed into an induced coma after picking up an injury in the last game. Just Hooks, quickly explain. I didn't actually see what took place, but can you just quickly explain what took place in the conversation that's being had currently?
So basically, Nottingham Forest was on a break, and they was offside, didn't it? But the assistant didn't raise the flag, even though the assistant knew that it was offside. The assistant didn't raise the flag because obviously now in football, actually I don't know if it's all football, but I definitely know in the Premier League or in English football, PGMOL and all them thing there, they say let the play out. And then they will obviously check on VAR if it is offside, because the scenarios that they're trying to avoid, like back in the past, is when the assistant would raise the flag and then after the fact, it turns out that they wasn't actually offside. So basically, because of that new approach to officiating offsides, it led to obviously our knee still chasing after the ball. And I think what actually happened is he tried to make a connection with the ball, but ended up at some mad pace sliding into the post. And it done something to his stomach, like pretty much stretcher all of that. I think even that's actually why the Marinakis came onto the pitch. So it wasn't actually, a lot of people thought it was to slew Nuno. It wasn't actually because of that. It was because of what happened.
Oh, okay.
Taiwo.
I didn't know.
No, but
Yeah.
he was on the pitch. Don't forget he played for another 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they didn't take him off straight away. He didn't get stretched off straight away. They put him back on.
Yeah, but that's what caused it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I
Where's
think
the-
it's unfortunate for him that he got injured. But I think it's a breath of fresh air for the PGMOL, and I'll tell you why. Because that injury's got nothing to do with the flag going up or not. That can happen in football regardless. I think what happens now is that when people say you should put the flag up, people now, if they change the rules back to put the flag up if you think someone's offside, people are going to have to accept that there's going to be some offsides that are going to be wrong.
Yeah,
People are going to have
but the incident which caused it doesn't happen if that rule's not in place.
I get that, but what I'm saying is also that doesn't happen if the linesman puts his flag up, but also if Awuni is onside and goes through the linesman puts his flag up.
How many goals are going to be prevented from the referee or the linesman getting it wrong, putting the flag up?
I'm not even saying how many are going to be prevented. I'm saying people have to accept that when the linesman puts his flag up now and it's onside, you can't then say, "Oh, but we should be letting it go now." Do you get it?
You can't change the rules, man. The thing is, like you said, no matter what, that would have happened anyway. If he was onside, that would have happened. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not the reason why.
Him being offside or onside doesn't make any difference to what actually happened.
No, but if it's not so much about him being onside to a degree it is, isn't it? Because he was offside. So because he's offside, what you should do is raise the flag. Obviously, in scenarios where it's hard on the eye to tell if the player is on or offside, cool. Don't raise in that scenario. But that wasn't this scenario. This scenario, clear as day, offside. Raise the flag. Then that scenario doesn't play out. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not so much about
this scenario in particular, but that scenario when you think that that scenario, let's imagine that the player was just offside. Because these scenarios are all going to come.
Of course. But
so if he was just offside, just off, and the linesman keeps his flag down, he can still get injured. If the linesman puts his flag up, you're saying you can't get injured if the linesman puts his flag up. That's basically what you're saying, because everyone would have stopped. So I'm saying in that scenario, so people have to accept though that when the linesman now puts his flag up, that there's going to be some offsides that are onside.
Oh yeah, and I'm cool for that because
you might be cool for it, but the reason why this rule came into place was because there were so many decisions that were onside, but the linesman put his flag up too quick. That's the whole point of this.
And
why
don't you also think that you also don't as much as it's very unfortunate what happened to Taiwo, innit? And no one wishes that on anyone, but you don't change a rule because it's happened once to the bad side. If this was a reoccurring thing where people keep carrying on and then people keep getting injured or players just stuff keep happening, then cool. But because it's one or two cases that this has happened, I don't think that there's enough on the table to even present a proper rule change. I don't think it makes sense. I think the way that we do the rule currently is it works. They let a lot of these sort of slash offsides could be onside. They let them play on, and you leave it to VAR in it. I think that's just how it needs to go. It's saved many of our teams.
I like it. I would rather it go back, and the reason why I want it to go back because what it does, it means that there's less VAR. Yeah, so I would like it to go back to the old rule, because I think the linesmen are a lot better than the referees. The linesmen are brilliant. They very, very rarely get anything wrong. So I would much rather it go back to the put your flag up. It saves the players and it brings back to that was onside. No, it was offside. It brings that back. You just have to. You got to accept that I play. I ain't got time for all these lines every minute of the day.
I don't want that.
All these lines. This will eradicate all those lines that they're drawing most of the time and all of that most of the time. Because if you put your flag up straight away, everyone stopped. There's no more extra play for anyone to say, "Oh, we've got to draw the lines now." Yeah, that's what the lines are for, isn't it? Because the play stopped, isn't it? So no one's going to say, "Oh yeah, everyone go back in their position and because he's onside and play on." Yeah, so the flag came up. The decision is offside. We got it wrong. Doesn't matter. So we move
but
on.
you know
So
what's gonna
I'll go
happen.
with
You know what's gonna happen. Yeah, Arsenal thing's gonna happen. Isn't it? Arsenal thing's gonna happen. You're gonna have a play. You're gonna have a goal disallowed, and there's another excuse Arsenal to win the league. That's what I'm gonna hear. You're gonna hear, oh, we had this goal disallowed. This goal. You're gonna have Egal pointing at every goal he had disallowed, and it's gonna be another reason why he didn't win the league. That's exactly what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. You know this is gonna happen.
I'm glad you named Egal, because Egal is literally, he'd probably load up. He'll load up a whole thread. He'll do a Twitter thread about it. All the goals.
Look at all these decisions. Liverpool got away with the Arsenal thing. You hear all that again, and I just no. I want it to be proper.
That's all well and good, but all I'm doing, like, obviously, what happened to our knee is like the end of the scale of the possibilities of what we all knew that could be a repercussion of the way that they officiate with VAR now when it comes to whether something is offside or not. But even if you bring it to like a less grand scale, like you could run into a scenario where it's clearly offside, but because you haven't called the offside, your player is now still charging after the ball, pulls his hamstring. Grade 3, gone for like 6 months.
That's football, though. Like, you
yeah,
can't blame.
I'm saying these scenarios are avoided.
People want someone to blame, so obviously they're going to look for something to blame. But the issue is nothing to do. Whether he put his flag up or not had nothing to. His flag's going up in the air. You know, he's not a wizard. The flag's going up in the air. He didn't point at the player and make the player fall into the post or anything like that.
Yeah, but because he didn't rip. Or she, because I think it was a she.
It was a woman. It was a woman. Sean Massey. She's cold though.
Cold, yeah, she is cold. Didn't raise the flag. The play continued, and because the play continues, when in reality it shouldn't continue, you now opened up the doors to a whole realm of possibility.
No, but the thing is, I think you've got to look at what Dee just said there, innit? It's like, I think at points people are just looking for someone to blame. PGMOL is already like they get. Everyone's onto them. They get fire every week. They're doing this wrong. But I think for one time, this is something they've done right. And I feel like people are just using a bad stick to beat them with, because all year they've been making bad decisions. It's just like, oh, let's chuck this at them again. I think they handled it the right way. There's nothing that they could do to change. They went by the rules, and now people are just looking for someone to blame. I think that is what it is.
It's not solely on them, because the physios should have picked up on whatever it was a lot sooner and gone, no, he needs to come off immediately. Yeah. But that scenario does not happen if the flag gets raised. And in this specific scenario, where there will be many, it's clear as day that it's offside. Just raise the flag. You don't need VAR to confirm for you.
The thing is, Hooks as well, yeah. We scored a goal. I don't think it was last year or the year before, yeah. I think it was clear.
Dean's doing the Egal thing.
No, it's clear. No. It was clear offside. It was clearly offside, but it was given in the end. If they put the flag up, it was clearly offside. They should have put the flag up. But when they went back to say, yeah, it was offside, it wasn't even our player that kicked the ball. So that's why it got given onside. You get me? But it was clearly offside. I thought everyone watching it thinking, he's clearly offside. But when you looked at where the pass came from, it wasn't even from one of our players. It's from the other opposition players. So it was given in the end. But if he'd have put the flag up, which the linesman should have done, because it looked like our player played it to him, it would have been offside, bro. So you can get decisions like that when you go back and realize he is offside, but it was the other player that played it. It might not apply to this occasion, but rather anything could happen in the VAR. Anything could happen in between what happened, bro. So just let it play on, bro. These rules are there for a reason, bro. Like, you're gonna have these incidents. It can happen anywhere on the pitch. What happened to him there, it can happen anytime on the pitch, bro. This is part and parcel of football, bro. You can't just change the rules because accidents happen. Look at boxing. What we're gonna do with that? When someone they're playing, they're boxing and one person collapses, change the rules then.
Do you know what it is, Dean? I think the key takeaway to all of this is the referees are always doing something wrong. Ultimately, people always feel like the referee is going to be the bad guy and they're always going to get the blame. That is just it. They have the bad guy job, and it is unfortunate to them, but they signed up to it. So, hey, they've got to blame themselves. But look, on that note, people, big up to everyone that has been tuned in for another podcast. I believe this is episode 4. We are going to keep them coming every week, so you need to make sure you look out for it on Durag Diaries, Fam Zone TV, and Halftime Hooks, 6 p.m. every Thursday. We will be there. But look, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for tuning in, and until next week, we'll see you there.